Welcome back. Today I'm going to teach you about one of my favorite coding platforms or introductory coding lessons for students. It's called Blockly Games, and it has a range of different games that increase in difficulty but also change in style as well. Today I'm going to go through the Maze game. It's one of my favorites, and it's somewhere that I normally start my students in year 3, 4, 5 and 6, but to be honest, even students who haven't coded before in year 8, I'll normally get them to start here so that they can learn about some basic coding logic, some algorithms, some sequences and some selections. And I'll go through all 10 levels so you can understand how to actually solve each of these with the correct logic. Now it starts off nice and simply. All it asks you to do is drag in the appropriate block so that your little character here can move from here to the end. If we only have one block, it'll go halfway, not far enough. So we'll say move forward and it'll do it twice. So we have an algorithm that says move forward twice. Nice and simple. Click run and you'll get our little guy to the next level. Are we ready for level 2? Sure are. All right, the next one again, we're gonna follow a sequence again. We're going to sequence that we go forward, left, forward, move forward, turn left, move forward, turn right, and then move forward again. Bit clunky, bit slow, quite a lot of code here. We've got 5 blocks to not go very far, but quite straightforward. Now it gets a bit more interesting. We have a repeat until, so we have a bit of a loop, might be the terminology we want to use here. So we repeat until we reach the end. Okay, that's that little symbol there. And we're gonna move forward until we reach the end. I only need 2 blocks for this one. We can move quite a long distance, and we're gonna move forward until we reach the end. It gets a bit more complicated, but again, we're doing the same thing. We've just got a zigzag. We're moving forward, we're going left, we're moving forward, we're going right, moving forward, etc., etc. Because it's a repeating task, we can just say repeat this task, so all 4 of these, until we get to this endpoint. So again, we've got a sequence, but this time within a loop. Okay, getting a little bit more complex every time. By the time we get to level 10, it actually is a little bit tricky. What I like about this game too is that it does engage students, and it is capable of, they can get success with it, but it's still quite challenging. All right, the next one, we need to mix a sequence before we have the loop and then have a separate loop altogether. So because we can't really have a loop that, or we probably could actually if I take it back, but in this case, I'm going to show you my solution, which is to move forward twice and then to turn left. And then we're going to repeat going forward until we get to the end. I wonder if in the comments you can find a better solution. There we go. Maybe we need different blocks to have a more efficient solution. All right, this is what I meant by different blocks. If we have the opportunity to have selection in the form of an if statement, then we can actually be even more efficient with our code. This time we want to go all the way into the center. If you notice, it's always a left turn. So we're going to say, if there's a path to the left, we want to turn left. And then we want to move forward. If there is no path to the left, it's just going to move forward. So it's going to check to the left, and only when there's a path to the left will it actually move to the left. Not too difficult. All of these can be done in other ways. They often only give you a limited number of blocks, but today I've left one remainder. All right, it's getting a bit trickier. It's not as straightforward necessarily. This one requires us again to have 2 selections, but it also has a loop, so it's a bit more tricky. Okay, so we want to go straight. Let's think about this little guy. He wants to go straight if there's a path ahead. But if there is a path to the right, we kind of always want to turn to the right. So we're going to check. If there's a path ahead, we will move forward. And then if there is a path to the right, we're going to turn right. Okay, so it's not an else statement. It's if this happens, do that, and then check if there is a path to the right. Click. So it's checking forward first and then checking to the right. Always go forward. And then we can see him. You can imagine he's just going to check here, go right, and keep going right. It's always from the little man's perspective as well. All right, we're getting close to the end. Level 7 done. Now, if you don't want to see the results, obviously you'll probably forget these as long as you don't watch them while you're doing it. Or if you are a teacher, great. It's good to have the answers and make sure your students do it without knowing them straight away. All right, for this one, we want to go left, but we also want to go right. So we need to consider that we're going to use the repeat until we get to the end. If there's a path ahead, we want to move forward. If there's a path to the left, we want to go left. And if there's a path to the right, we'll go right. This will work because there are no separate paths that could lead us astray. But we'll have a look what happens. It's checking all three directions, okay? And it's always going to go, if there's a path ahead, it will go back to the beginning as well. Just follows that loop. And again, because there's nowhere that he could go astray, it will work. He or she, sorry. All right, nearly at the end here. The next one gets even trickier again, and level 10, particularly hard. But less code than this, interestingly enough. All right, 2 more. All right, let's think about this little man. He needs to go straight and then turn left, then turn left. He doesn't want to get to this point here and turn right though, okay? So we're gonna say, if there's a path ahead, go straight. Okay, at any point, we don't really want to veer off going straight, but at some points we want to turn left. So if there's a path ahead, move straight. Else, if there isn't a path ahead, turn left. So we don't want to go this way either because we'll get trapped there. So if there's a path ahead, go straight. Else, turn left. So it's always checking first if there's a path ahead. And now it's just going to see there's a path ahead. It's going to keep going straight right to the end. All right, the final one. Okay, they give you a clue. I think it says make sure you're going to the left-hand side, and that should be your clue as well. What's tricky about this is that we have two separate selections or choices. And the first one we're gonna have is if there's a path to the left, we always wanna take it because that needs to be our priority when we get to here, but also to here. We wanna make sure that if it gets to here, it needs to check left first. Otherwise, if we have the right one first, it might get stuck in a loop. Then, if there's a path ahead, we'll move forward. Else, if we've run out of all options, that is when we're gonna turn right. And let's have a look at the final level. Always checking left first. If there's a left option, it will turn left. So it actually does go the long way around, which is fine, but you can imagine what's going to happen when we get to here. Gets to the top, we'll realize there's no way to go left or straight, so we'll turn right. It just takes a bit of time, not necessarily too efficient, but we will come back. I should speed this up. If you're at this stage in the video, you can skip ahead 20 seconds. See if you can get to the end, and you can see, oh, he actually goes up there. But he's going to turn left here. Remember that we do always turn left as a preference. He'll get here and turn left, and when he gets here, he'll check left and straight, and then eventually go right. Awesome. All right, so that's the maze game. That should save. If it doesn't, it's not really a big deal, because once you learn the concepts, you can normally come back and work it out as well. Blocking games, really fun. I'll try and do some videos on the other levels as well. If you have any questions, just pop them in the comments as well. Good luck. Try and do it without cheating though.